Welcome to Whirlwind, ladies and gentlemen, spawning in the bottom left position. As the Teal Protoss player down 0-1 in this best of 3, it is Classic versus the Blue Zerg player in the top left. From Team Prime, it is BBoongBBoong. Went for, BBoongBBoong did a very aggressive Roach Ling opening. Tons of Lings, just endless amounts of Zerglings off the back of a late third base and a relatively early natural gas. I think one of the things that really hurt Classic was never able to establish the Immortal count versus the Ultralisks. There were a few times where he managed to get a couple of Immortals out, and then they all just died, and he had to restart that process of getting the Immortals together, of really situating himself in a position where he could just shut it all down. So let's see if he can make a bit of a recovery here, because Classic looks like he wants to do that same gateway style of opening, but it could actually be Nexus first. He's still chroning probes. He's not yet built the gateway, even though he has the pylon in his main base. So what this means is it could just be a very delayed gateway into a Nexus, or it could be Nexus first with an in-base forge, or even greedier, it could be a Nexus first with an in-base gateway. And let's find out. The probe is moving down to the natural expansion. There is that Nexus. Will immediately be scouted out by BBoongBBoong, so he knows what's up, and he went for the 15 supply spawning pool. So is he going to punish it? That's the question. Here's the drone. There's the hatchery. We'll have to see when this finishes up, but it's going to be a forge in base as the follow-up. So it's interesting because the in-base forge, at least in my experience, is not quite as popular as it used to be. I remember Hero did it a fair amount, had a reasonable bit of success, but nothing crazy. This pro, by the way, is going the complete wrong way to scout, so he won't know about the location of his opponent for a while. There's the gateway, there's the cannon. And Classic is set up. He's okay. The hatchery, about halfway done. We have the spawning pool complete, of course. A few scouting lings are going, and it looks like a fast third for BBoongBBoong. Fast third makes a lot of sense, especially since he didn't get to go hatchery first. His hatchery will end up finishing after this Nexus. Very unusual that a Protoss player gets their natural before the Zerg. But we'll have to see what he can do with it. Double gas being taken. Here are the Zerglings, and he doesn't actually kill either of them. Pretty nice. These probes want to deny that the Zerglings from getting into the main base or scouting or anything like that, but they won't be able to. Which is also kind of cool. There's the Cybernetics core coming in. Third hatchery immediately gets spotted by this probe. So Classic knows that BBoongBBoong has gone for this strategy, and this Zergling is just going to run amok. There's no stalker on the field yet, so there's no reason why this Zergling should die. He can just dance the night away. Queen going to place a creep tumor. Nothing unusual. As BBoongBBoong's just kind of doing his thing. He's throwing it up. We don't have that quite as early gas, obviously, as compared to the last game where we saw 2-base Speedling assault off the back of that late third. But man, this Zergling is annoying. This is one of those things that if you ever played Protoss, I know when I play Protoss, this always pisses me off when you have to deal with this sort of Ling in your base, just running around getting free scouting of absolutely everything. And now he's going to come down to the natural, and he'll see the Stargate. He will see the Stargate. So now he knows, okay, there might be Phoenix and Oracle, and I do think this gives a good opportunity for Classic to just cut his losses, take a fast third base. I'd really like to see him just take that third base and say, screw it. That Zergling finally dies. I didn't see what got it. I think it was the kiss of death from the probe. But there's the Nexus starting at 6 minutes and 20 seconds. And Oracle is the weapon of choice for Classic. So he's going to try to bring some of this pressure himself. We have the cannon on the way to protect the third base. One more gateway, maybe 2 gateways will completely block that off, make it nice and safe. And gas being taken. Man, 14 drones being built at once. That saturation. So good. So good by BoongBoong. The Stalker is going to come up here with his Zealot. Now there are 2 Slowlings and a Queen. And a Void Ray is the follow-up after the Oracle. Pretty interesting. He wants to pull everything down to the 3rd base. And then bring the Pain from the main with the Oracle. So let's see what he can do here. There's the Zealot. 16 Zerglings are on the way. This Oracle is targeting down drones. Very nice. Just getting in, getting a few kills. Nothing game-changing, though. And there we go. Now he's going to move it up. 5, 6 kills. Oracle is staying alive. Not yet able to get those big bang kills. But he only trades away that Zealot. Still looking kind of good. And he has his 3rd base, which is absurd. The 3rd base being this early, this Overlord can start to pick away at the Overlords. But also, by having the Void Ray, by getting a couple of Void Rays, it makes you almost invincible to Roach attacks. There's some Zerglings coming in, but if he had Roaches, it wouldn't matter. I mean, he has Prismatic Alignment. And with just Zerglings, this Photon Cannon will do quite well. Even a Photon Overcharge can be very strong in a situation like this. He has the Oracle here, and that's pretty much it. The Void Ray just shows everything away. So this fast 3rd goes unabated, and this 4th hatchery is very interestingly positioned from BoongBoong. I feel like Classic could shut that down. Yeah, I feel like Classic is actually in a good spot to attack that 4th base just because of how close it is. The Void Rays alone should be able to take care of it, and he's going to move up. You've seen a lot of Protoss players actually do this, the Oracle double Void Ray with the Mothership core, and there he sees that hatchery. There's no reason why these Void Rays shouldn't be able to just activate their Prismatic Alignment and force a cancel or kill it. This Oracle will get caught. Oracles, man. Oracle lives dangerously. There we go. There's Prismatic Alignment. This hatchery, not long for this world. Somehow that Oracle is alive with 4 hit points. He's actually just going to go for the Queens. This is a bit ballsy. Does need to be careful. 1 Queen gets taken care of, and the 2nd one, time warps the Queen, of course. Queens are some of the most nimble units on creep. I feel like Classic is going to miss an opportunity to actually kill this hatchery off. There's still a lot of time on the cooldown for that Prismatic Alignment, and that's it. He doesn't get the hatchery. That's actually a really big deal. He certainly should have forced a cancel, and he loses the Mothership core. Damn. This Oracle is still roaming around. Classic still has a good economy setup. +2 attack is on the way. Blink. Oh goodness. We have the Enduring Locust upgrade coming in, as well as Aspire in the 1/1 for range. So I'm wondering if he'll realize that this Infestation Pit was researching something. Certainly not going to be anything weird like pathogen glands. And this presents a really awkward timing where he can try to press in before the tech gets out. There's no swarm host on the field yet, so he can still do some damage. There's the force fields locking in these Zerglings, and I do like this a lot because it just allows them to slowly chew apart these units. But now the swarm hosts are coming out onto the field. He does have this War Prism in the main base. 7 swarm hosts are on the way. That's where things start to get a little bit kinky. This Queen trying to get taken down by the Zealots, and the rest of these guys, man, their little Power Ranger suits jumping onto these Roaches. The drones do get pulled away at the same time. Big attack over towards the 3rd base. These Void Rays prismatically aligned, want to get some pressure in. There's no detection to take care of these swarm hosts, so they're out on the field, and now the Locusts begin to splurge forth, trying to deal some additional damage. The Oracle nowhere to be seen to actually help this, and he's actually just going to fight against waves of Locusts. He needs to kill off this hatchery. That's #1 priority. Kill the hatchery with the Void Rays, get everything else out of there because there's no detection. He's just losing units to these free, endlessly spawning Locusts. Just use the Prismatic Alignment and pick it off, but no. BoongBoong will once again hold on. Fantastic hold for BoongBoong Classic. He is on the ropes, and now Mutalisks are on the way. He's forced the Colossi transition. He's forced the 2nd Robo. Now is a great time to switch into Mutalisks when you have 4 bases of gas mining, when you have those swarm hosts. And this is so smart. +3 attack is on the way. Sure, that's nice. That's fine and dandy. But Classic lost a lot making that attack happen. Here's the War Prism in the main base. What can he do with it? He's going to warp in 6 zealots into that main base. He's pressing the front as well, but he needs an observer before he can do anything about the swarm host. I don't see an observer with this army. He's just going to get forced back. The Colossus will get focused down. The entire Protoss fall forced back. He does have to recall, and the zealots, man, they are going to town in the main base, doing everything humanly possible. A few mutas do get picked up. BoongBoong needs to be careful with how much he's willing to lose on these little trades here and there, as he does still have a reasonable setup. These locusts just run forward, give a little gut check, and there's the hive now coming in. So BoongBoong just needs to be a little bit more careful, I think, about the potential of the warp prism in his main base. It did do a fantastic job, but there's the locust now, just ever pressing forward as the swarm hosts continue to just pile up. He's actually built a few more of these. Links forward, catches a few more mutalisks, and this is really nice. These mutas have not done anything at all for BoongBoong. He's not found any niche to exploit with their mobility and speed. And now the Zerglings will run into the natural expansion. He's actually trying to get the Nexus. I feel like this is a bit of a bold move. Getting the Nexus itself is going to be really tough. He is bringing it awfully close, though, but it's just not going to be what he needs to actually take it down. Instead of getting any probe kills, he goes for the Nexus and ends up short-handed. Now, the Locust will continue to just press out, so this is a situation where BoongBoong has a bit of time to turtle. He has to make some decisions, and it looks like he's decided on Mutalisks again. He's just going to continue to pump them out. He's recognized, okay, it doesn't look like there's any Phoenix on the field. It doesn't look like you're going to try to transition into Phoenix to deal with this, so I'm just going to keep doing my thing and bring in the heat. Now, here are the Locusts for BoongBoong trying to get in position. Classic. Does he still not have any detection with this army? No. Double Observer now being produced. He does have a lot of Colossi. This is it. This is his opportunity to make something happen. The mutas are here. He's going to step back one of these swarm hosts. And here we go. The mutas are in position, so he can just jump right on top of this if he wants to. Is he going to evacuate this space? He's stepping the swarm host back. He has the Zerglings on one side. There we go. There's the next wave of the Locusts now pressing in. The Roaches and Zerglings on that left side. Can he make it work, though? Can he do it? And I don't think, oh no, there's enough Locusts here. The Mutalisks and Corruptors will try to step in and change it up, but one Colossus might fall. I think that's going to be all. The Queens are stepping forward, using their transfuses as well, trying to keep each other alive. A second Colossus topples. There's still so many Stalkers. The Locust pressing in once again, and BoongBoong, he's holding the supply, still somehow has a bit of a lead, reproducing. All of the Colossi are dead, so these Stalkers no longer going to be ideal, but he's just going to try to focus down the Swarm Host. He's done a great job of jumping on top of them. Swarm Host after Swarm Host has fallen. There's still a few left, only 4. And that's actually a really nice trade. Keeping those Stalkers alive was so important for Classic, but he lost a lot in that process. A lot of his tech was eliminated, and the Roaches pressing him back. The Corruptors taking some damage as well. He needs to be so careful. Greater Spires on the way. Double Immortal production. Is he anticipating the Ultralisk follow-up? That's really what I'm wondering now, as he do need Colossi to deal with Swarm Hosts. He's rebuilding 6 of them. Damn. Lots of Stalkers on the map. Just kind of holding their ground now. And that Greater Spire means that we could have some Broodlord action on the map with the few Corruptors that were left over. There's a Warp Prism in the main base. We have the bottom right base secured by Classic. He's got himself a little bit of hidden economy, which is always nice. In the later stages, if this game became some sort of weird quasi-base trade type scenario, he could be okay. The Zealots are in the main base. They're going for the Queens, and then potentially the Hive. There's the second Queen eliminated as he's going to go for drones. It looks like it's some Zealots being sent over towards the third base at the same time, and these Observers are parked right on top of the Swarm Host. These Zealots racking up kills left and right. Double Colossus production begins again. Adrenal Glands, as though, is on the way for BoongBoong. He has the +2 melee attack on the way as well. Continuing to just press forward with these Zerglings, with these Roaches. Now 3 Broodlords are on the way. 28 more Zerglings with that speed. I feel like he might want a couple more Broodlords, but he is supply max. So trade some of these Lings, and Does BoongBoong realize? Oh, he did scout this at some point. This hatchery, it's Nexus, incredibly important. Some Zealots will get warped in to try to help aid this. He will splinter off these Zerglings, and it looks like he's just going to try to focus the Nexus. I think focusing the Nexus hasn't worked that well for him, but now with a few Roaches, maybe he can get it. He's allowing these Zealots to just do so much damage, being so cost-effective with that +3. Focuses the Nexus at the third base that he had missed out on before. It was already very weak, and now he can continue to produce Broodlords. More and more Broodlords coming in. Picks off the Photon Cannon. These Roaches will die very quickly, but that Nexus is still alive. More Zerglings running down to try to take that out. The Colossi count, though, is so damn high for Classic. BoongBoong needs to make a decision very soon about how he's going to handle this game. Largely because, yeah, it's going to be Mutalisks again. Largely because the army is so powerful for Classic. He has the upgrades. He has everything that he needs to really just keep himself bolstering forward. Zealots getting picked off. Will be able to grab this pylon in the top right. So that's nice. He needs to secure some additional bases. Can't really blame BoongBoong there. Here we go. The massive army of Classic is getting into position. He has a lot of Templar. Storm upgrade almost complete. He only needs to splinter off a few Zealots if he really had any with his army, or even just a few Stalkers. As these Zerglings continue to pummel the bottom right side, he was able to get that Nexus, but now there's one on the bottom center. A lot of these probes getting caught, though. Very nice catch for BoongBoong with 5 Photon Cannons. That in and of itself is a huge pain. A few Roaches will try to come in here and aid that, but this is, I feel like we're watching a tower defense game, guys, being casted live. It's pretty much what you've got here, as these Lings and Roaches are still here to put the pressure on. But Classic could actually start another Nexus. He's still looking pretty, you know, he's actually looking pretty damn solid still. The Stalkers blink forward, grabbing a few more of these Roaches. Nexus begins again. Of course, he can afford to just rebuild the Nexus since he does have his, he's already maxed out. He doesn't care anymore. Archon stepping forward, getting a couple shots off, doing what they can now. Just blowing this Zerg army to shreds. And the Zealots are just doing their thing, man. They're so good versus these Zerglings. With the +3 Carapace, they're okay as far as like handling the damage goes, but they're still not the most cost-effective. Zealots were pretty much always going to be good against Zerglings. These Swarm Hosts haven't really found themselves a new niche, as 3 more charge lots just burst towards that top right base. The Mutalisks are going to come in, picking off the War Prism. A Nidus network being produced by BoongBoong, and I'm wondering what's going to happen now. There's Broodlords, Swarm Hosts, and Spine Crawlers. Oh my. He needs to get these Broodlords on top. They're wasting their time with the Zealots. These Broodlords need to help protect the Swarm Hosts and this huge line of static defense. Oh, this is going to be really weird. The Mutas are just going to go for the base trade. He should try to unpower that Stargate, but here it is. The Swarm Hosts everywhere. Going to storm the Swarm Hosts and the Locust, storming the Broodlords at the same time, trying to blink under those Broodlords. No luck just yet. He's picked off all but 3 of the Broodlords, though, but he's just taking so much heat here. The Storm whiffing for the most part. Those Broodlings just doing so much damage. The Stalker count is really starting to get lower and lower. There's still 3 Broodlords, and these Locusts are so good. More Storms drop, more Storms fall. These Mutalisks have picked off all of the static defense for Classic. BoongBoong is hanging tough. The Broodlord will pick off the last Archon, the last vestige of power versus these Broodlords. There's still one more Archon over here, but that's it. Pretty much most of the mining shut down. BoongBoong might just try to force his hand on the army of Classic. BoongBoong does have that left side hatchery mining. Where is Classic actually mining resources? That bottom right. There's still cannons here. If he can find a way to swallow this Protoss army, he could potentially take the game right now. But it's going to be so tough. Ooh, very nice job actually catching those Mutas before they get caught by the Stalkers. He's at the tower. There's 3 Archons being morphed. Archons are such a smart decision from Classic because despite the fact that he's behind on supply, Classic realizes that if these Mutalisks clump up over the Archons, they're basically going to one-shot them. 3 Archons are just going to... They're going to make this cloud of Mutalisks disintegrate. It'll be gone like nothing. Almost like water vapor at that point. And here are the Mutas. There's an Archon being morphed. There are Photon Cannons here. Will be able to unpower almost all of them. The Archon getting there, but with so many mutas, such a good spread, just taking that down. And he's just going to go for the Nexus. The army for the Protoss player is coming. BBoongBoong needs to get out of there. The Stalkers will try to blink up, but he doesn't have to. He can just run away. Doesn't need to engage because the Lings and Roaches are still pressing the main base of Classic. He's doing so much here, just more and more Mutalisks being added on. It's one of those weird situations, weird base trading situations. There are a few probes here. This is the last. He can still make at least. Actually, he can't make even an assimilator. He needs to return some resources. He cannot produce anything. The Colossi here trying to save this Nexus. Will he be able to? It's at 11 hit points. No, the Nexus is gone. Zerglings in the main base. The Roaches and Zerglings in the natural. The Muta Cloud takes out the bottom right Nexus. Classic is in a tough spot. He can't leave his base. He can't do anything. Yeah, he can't do anything. What could he? How do you deal with this many Mutalisks just constantly running around? And now, how does he deny bases? This drone, is he going to start this hatchery? I'd be impressed. Yeah, he gets it. That's really nice. Did he see this hatchery? Is it on his mini-map? Yes. So he knows that there's a hatchery being built. This army's moving out towards the left side. This is where he needs to really shine. He needs to just blow this down, take out the last mining base of the Zerg player. These Zerglings are chasing a Stalker, so the whole army isn't here. The drones are trying to run away. If the Archons get these drones, oh, brutal. These drones all locked up with nowhere to go. Getting completely crushed by Classic as the Mutaflock attacks the main base. He's actually running very low on buildings. There's enough resources to build one pylon for Classic. I feel like BBoongBoong should set a goal. Just take out all the Nexi. Get every single Nexus, and then you have the freedom to just go wherever you want because you'll always know where the buildings are. No, he's going to try to just engage these Archons. He picks off one Archon. 2 Archons are dead. Very important. The Archons are really all that can really do anything here. BBoongBoong just needs to worry. All he needs to do is not clump up everything into like one Hex. Then the Archons are useless. You do have the Broodlings coming out versus the Immortal and the Colossi. Very nice. As it's kind of just buying him some time. The only units that can't shoot up are attacking, and everything that can is back to defend. But is it even going to be enough? He's unpowering absolutely everything. There's an Extractor on the right side. An Observer sees it. He has his base in the top right. There's an Immortal there. And these drones, they're coming up. With these Zerglings, they should be able to stop this this Immortal from doing much more. And here's the Mutaflock coming in to just get rid of it. And that's it. This is the last of the forces. This Immortal is tucked in so comfortably, but now he is dead, and the Mutalisks should be coming any second now to pick off these Colossi. There we go. Pretty much the last of the units here for Classic. The Hive is still alive. That's it. He's got a couple Stalkers and 2 Archons. This Nexus in the main base, he doesn't have enough to rebuild everything. Actually wondering, does he have any probes? No probes either, so he cannot rebuild. All he can do is make one probe and maybe try to long distance mine enough to hide an assimilator, but he's never going to get that opportunity. There's a hatchery being built in the very bottom right of the map. This isn't going to be a base trade. He's just going to kill him now. He will force the entire army to come back. And where'd those Archons go? To the top right base. They're one-shotting drones, but it doesn't matter. Without the Archons, how can he possibly hope to fight this Mutalisk Cloud? The last Nexus is destroyed, and with that, basically the last hopes here for our Protoss player. He did sneak one last Zealot out with his few couple of dollars he had in his pocket, but that's it. His buildings are going to get killed off. There's no proxy pylons on the map. This is it. Everything that he has is right here. And I think he should see this and recognize that if the buildings are here and he's being revealed, that he should just pick off the buildings and end the game. Because these Stalkers, they're trying to buy a little bit of time. Classic realizes he's down 0-1 in this best of 3. He doesn't want to get eliminated like this, but I don't think he's going to have much say in the matter. That assimilator gets picked off, and that's it. He's just going to win by elimination. Twilight Council dead, Pylon dead, Assimilator dead, and this is the last unit, the Gateway. GG, BBoongBoong with the 2-0 victory over Classic. Will advance further in this Intel Extreme Masters Singapore Korean qualifier.